The life we call normal today would have been considered incredibly comfortable just 15 or 20 years ago. Think about it. Back in the early 2000s, if your family went out to eat once a week, that was a special occasion. Everyone got dressed up. People looked forward to it. Today, eating out a few times a week or ordering food almost every day is completely normal. Of course, I get it. The world moves faster now. Life is busier. Sometimes spending money really does save time. But we need to be honest and draw a clear line. If you're paying to free up time to build a business, spend more time with your kids, or learn a new skill, that can be a smart investment. But when you start spending money out of habit or simply because that's what everyone does, that's when things become a problem. And this is the core idea of today's video. A huge number of things we spend money on today simply aren't worth it anymore. The value proposition doesn't make sense anymore. What you get back just isn't worth the price. But because everyone around us is doing the same thing, we accept it as normal. Until one day we look back and realize we've drifted way off course. So, let's break down the most common traps. First, let's talk about food. Back in the day, we chose fast food for two reasons. It was fast and cheap. Today, only one of those is still true. It's fast. A meal at McDonald's or Burger King can easily cost you $12 to $20 now. And think about what you're actually getting for that price. You're eating in your car or at a sticky table. The food comes wrapped in paper. The quality, well, we all know what it is. You're paying almost the same as what used to be a decent, sit-down meal at a casual restaurant just a few years ago, but the experience is nowhere close. The core value is gone. The habit isn't. At this point, you're no longer paying for a cheap meal. You're paying purely for convenience. But the real money drain is sit-down restaurants. A normal dinner for two, not fancy, not upscale, just a casual neighborhood spot, can easily run $60 to $80. Add tax and tip, and suddenly you're looking at a $100 bill. Let me be clear, there's nothing wrong with eating out. It's enjoyable. The problem is frequency. When eating out happens multiple times a week, it stops being a series of small $20 or $30 expenses. It quietly adds up to hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars every single month. And for a lot of people who feel stuck, who wonder why they can't save or invest no matter how hard they try, this is one of the biggest financial leaks there is. Next up, new cars. Buying a new car isn't wrong. Plenty of people do it, and they're doing just fine. The real question is, can you actually afford it right now? When most people shop for a car, they focus on two things, the sticker price and the monthly payment. But that's only the tip of the iceberg. What they don't fully account for is the true cost of ownership. The payment is just the beginning. On top of that comes higher insurance, more expensive maintenance at the dealership, fuel costs, and a long list of extra expenses that were never part of their budget before. And that's still not the worst part. The worst part is this. The moment you drive that brand new car off the lot, it instantly loses around 20% of its value. Just like that. And it keeps losing value year after year. Now add financing into the picture, because that's how most people buy cars. That means you're paying interest on something that's losing value every single day. That's the exact opposite of investing. When you invest, your money works for you and grows. When you finance a new car, you're paying someone else for the privilege of owning something that's shrinking in value. I totally understand. We want a new car because of the feeling of owning something new and the sense that our hard work is finally paying off. But is that feeling really worth tens of thousands of dollars? Is it worth working extra years of your life before you ever reach financial freedom? 3. Travel. Travel used to be relatively affordable if you were willing to hunt for deals. That's no longer the case. Flights are expensive. Hotels are expensive. Even so-called budget options have gotten shockingly pricey. And what often happens is that a lot of people come back from these trips with mixed feelings. They had some great moments, but at the same time, they're physically tired and stressed about the money they just spent. So if a trip leaves us more anxious about money when we get back, can we really call it a vacation? I'm not saying experiences don't matter. They absolutely do, but we have to be honest about the trade-off. Instead of chasing big, expensive trips, why not start smaller? Take short trips closer to home. Explore places near where you live that you've never bothered to visit. They cost far less and can still create great memories. Save the big trips for later. For the moment when you can pay for them in cash, enjoy them fully and come home relaxed instead of worried. 4. Electronics and the upgrade cycle. This is one of the most classic traps out there. Every year, Apple, Samsung, and other brands release a new phone, and millions of people rush to buy it, even though the phone they already have still works perfectly fine. A smartphone today can easily cost over $1,000. But what do you actually get compared to last year's model? A slightly better camera? A slightly faster chip? Something you barely notice in everyday use? Because, let's be honest, for 99% of people, a phone is still just used for scrolling social media, texting, watching videos, and taking pictures of food. This might be one of the most wasteful ways people spend money, and yet it's incredibly common. We're constantly convinced that we need the newest, fastest, best version, even though we rarely use the features that supposedly justify the upgrade. And it gets worse. Modern devices are often built with planned obsolescence. Companies intentionally slow older models through software updates, limit repairs, or design products that are difficult to fix, or to push you back into the upgrade cycle sooner than necessary. And finally, the core reason behind almost all financial leaks. Everything we've talked about so far really comes down to one thing: spending money to look rich. We live in a world where the outside is visible, but the inside story isn't. So sometimes we choose a car not because of how well it performs, but because of how it makes us feel when other people see it. We don't buy a bag because it lasts longer. We buy it because of the brand name. These purchases are often just a way of telling ourselves and the world, "I'm doing fine." And this isn't unusual at all. So this is the takeaway I want you to remember. In life, you usually get to choose one. You can choose to look rich, or you can choose to be rich. For most people, doing both at the same time is almost impossible. You can't spend like a millionaire and build wealth like a millionaire at the same time. So you have to choose short-term validation from other people's admiration or long-term freedom and financial security. The choice is yours. Choose wisely. And if you found this video helpful, hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss future videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.